Hey guys, what's up? This is Insanity. Got a gameplay of the Black Ops 4 beta on PS4. Playing with some people I haven't been playing or having gaming sessions with for a long time, since they've all jumped on the Fortnite bandwagon, and I'm still reluctant to do so. It was a good idea too, because on console I've been consistently frustrated game after game, going on immense losing streaks, and it didn't take until I've actually partied up with people that I was starting to have winning games with slightly average scores. I've been on losing streaks so much to the point of not getting much in the way of kills or even assisted kills, so that's been a real drag for me when I was playing the beta. This was the only okay game I managed from console. Everything else was either me barely breaking even or going negative. When the beta came out on PC, naturally my scores and performance were consistently average to above average, and a huge improvement over my console sessions. I did spend about 90% of my time sniping, so I wasn't always doing great, especially since sniping feels so often in Black Ops 4 for some reason, but I at least have something to blame for lackluster performances on PC. On PS4, it was nothing but people just refusing to die when I got into gunfights with them, on top of spawns being incredibly fragile that you can easily have someone up your arse when you least expect it. I'm going to make it clear this time, I pre-ordered the digital version of Black Ops 4 on console for access to the beta, and I'm only sticking with the console version when the full release comes out, unlike World War II where I was impatient and decided to get the PC version just because circumstances caused me to get the console version a little later than I would have expected. I was fortunate enough to get early access on PC without needing to buy the game at all, but it'll be the only time I ever play Black Ops 4 on PC. Now whether I'll play a lot of Black Ops 4 for that matter is a different story. And as you can imagine, my time on console isn't exactly leaning towards the desire to play Black Ops 4 for extended periods of time. But I've been kind of ranting for a while, so let's talk about things I liked and disliked. 3 for both. The first thing I liked is that they now hide the KD from scoreboards. People won't get the exact details of their contribution to the match apart from objective-based stats. And by contribution, I mean contribution to enemy streaks if we're doing poorly. So this has to do with the fact that they revamped the killing to be enemy kill in action, which factors both enemies you've killed personally and enemies you've assisted in killing. Unless they change it back to a separate count for kills and assists, it basically makes no sense to keep track of it on the scoreboard. So that's one thing I like. The second thing I like is that assists are full credit to your score streaks now, and not based on the damage dealt. Getting kills stolen by teammates who get to profit off of someone else's work is something I imagine was complained about to the devs many times before, so it's nice to know that your efforts are not in vain, even if someone else finishes off the enemy. A third thing I like is shotguns being a secondary again, as I get to use a sniper shotty setup again, without the need for overkill. Unlike Modern Warfare 2, the shotguns are tuned to feel like secondaries, so they aren't super strong and feel underpowered, but due to the increased HP cap in Black Ops 4, they feel like they actually have a fighting chance at close quarters when a ton of fully automatic weapons do not have access to 3 or 4 shot minimum kills like they did in the previous Call of Duties. That's definitely the best way to make shotguns feel viable, even if they would kill for the kind of power tuning the Modern Warfare 2 shotguns had. Now for the negatives, the increased HP is a mixed bag. I mentioned that shotguns fare better when many weapons can't do a 4-shot, while the pump action needs only 2 and 1 of a certain attachment. An increased time to kill across the board means that making your shots count really matters. I feel that it also exacerbates the connectivity issue where gunfights are concerned. Before it was, god damn it, I put 4 to 5 bullets in this guy and he just one-shots me. It's now, we're plugging each other with 4 to 5 bullets but he just somehow survives and I die? Like, what the hell? I feel the second scenario is worse than the first because you're consciously aware that the other enemy is fighting back, whereas in the first it's like you didn't get a chance. Many gunfights boil down to eye for an eye situations where you kill and get killed in return, and then your teammate kills the one who killed you while they get killed by someone else. Getting multi-kill sprays is very tricky since you'll probably end up killing one guy and maybe crippling his buddy before you drop dead. The increased HP and lack of health regen without the stim equipment is probably the biggest fundamental change a Call of Duty game has ever made, and my overall reception towards it is a bit on the negative side, at least on console. On PC, my better aiming can at least deal with the increased HP, plus players tend to bunny hop quite a bit in gunfights just to make it harder for the other player to kill them, so I'm more neutral on PC. Another thing I dislike is that sniper rifles on console didn't follow in the footsteps of World War II. They don't have aim assist at all. If they had aim assist via breath holding, that would at least be a reasonable compromise. However, even on PC where I can actually snipe, sniping feels off like I mentioned previously. It's like the hitboxes are small for sniper rifles, or they're lingering off an enemy body model to the point that even a shot that appears to graze an enemy's shoulders will miss. I try shooting a little ahead of an enemy or where they're going, especially in close range quickscopes, but they still miss. Black Ops 3 sniping by comparison seems more lenient if you don't factor in jetpack mobility. It might be a moot point in the end since I can barely handle easier weapons like assault rifles on console. And I mentioned that I'm sticking to the console version for certain this time, so there's a good chance I won't even be sniping much on console at all. It's unfortunate I don't have a convenient source for sniping this time, but I'll have to manage. Lastly, the equipment needs a revamp. There's clearly nothing better than stim shot. The only other survivability equipment, armor, can be completely countered with armor-piercing round attachments. If you don't have stim shot, you have no regen period. The only time I imagine stim shot would be a terrible choice is in hardcore mode, but that depends on whether they still go with their HP as the HP cap in hardcore. And then there's the fact that giving up your specialist equipment for any of these standard Call of Duty equipment like grenades will require a created class point. They should really have made the equipment slot free since they lumped the regular and specialist equipment together under the same slot. As of this time, those are my 3 likes and 3 dislikes of Black Ops 4 are so far. We'll see how I'll fare on console exclusively when Black Ops 4 releases. That's the gameplay and commentary. Hope you enjoyed it, and Insanity is out.
Adios, amigo. Rest in peace.